Hello, and welcome to another edition of Mrs. Melrose's Magnificent Mysteries. With us tonight, we have a very special guest. Please give a warm welcome to mad scientist Max Mentor.
Well, hello, Miss Malbrough.
Hello, Max.
I am so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And I'm ready to teach. But I've noticed there are no students. How are we going to teach with no students?
No students needed, because today we have a special letter from a 4th grade student in Lamar, Texas. Let's take a look and see if you can help us answer her very important question.
Everybody keeps telling us how important water is, but where does it come from and how does it work? Why haven't we used it all up yet?
Well, that's a very good question. You know, water is almost everywhere, whether you can see it or not. But in order to understand water, we're going to need to review some very important scientific terms. Let's take a closer look so we can fully understand the water cycle.
Cycle, a series of events that are regularly repeated in the same order. Thermal energy is what we call energy that comes from heat. Evaporate is to turn from liquid into vapor. Gas is an air-like fluid substance which expands freely to fill any space available. Condensation is water that collects as droplets on a cold surface when humid air is in contact with it. Precipitation is rain, snow, sleet, or hail that falls to the ground. Rain is moisture condensed from the atmosphere that falls visibly in separate drops. Sleet is a form of precipitation consisting of ice pellets, often mixed with rain or snow. Snow is atmospheric water vapor frozen into ice crystals and falling in light white flakes or lying on the ground as a white layer. Hail are pellets of frozen rain that fall in showers from cumulonimbus clouds. Water cycle, the cycle of processes by which water circulates between the Earth's oceans, atmosphere, and land, involving precipitation as rain and snow, drainage in streams and rivers, and return to the atmosphere by evaporation and transpiration.
Wow, that's a lot of vocabulary, but no worries. I will explain everything so you'll know exactly what's going on when we're done.
The water cycle is the movement of water from the ground to the sky and back to the ground again. We call it a cycle because this happens over and over and over again. From the ground to the sky, back to the ground, and then up to the sky again. A drop of rain can travel a lot. This amazing process is all caused by the sun. Without the sun, there would be no thermal energy to start the cycle. The sun heats up the water and causes it to evaporate. That means it turns the liquid water into a gas form. You know, like when your mom starts to boil water on the stove and you see steam rising out of the pan. It's kind of like that. Once the water, in gas form, reaches high up into the air, it cools down and turns back into liquid form. This condensation creates clouds. When the water gets too heavy, it falls back down to the ground in one of 4 possible forms of precipitation: rain, sleet, snow, or hail. Once the water reaches the surface, it has many places to go. It can fall into lakes, rivers, oceans, or seep into the ground. Water that falls onto the ground and doesn't get absorbed by the soil is called runoff. It moves down hills on the surface until it reaches a stopping place, usually a water source.
Now that our water has come full circle, let's recap what has happened. We know that water moves from the ground up to the sky, then falls back down to the ground. The sun is the driving force that makes all of this happen. First, we evaporate, then we condensate, precipitate, and run off. Say it with me. Evaporate, condensate, precipitate, run off.
Yeah, Max. The water cycle seems like a lot of fun. I never knew that the sun was so important. In fact, each of those steps are important. Just imagine what our environment might be like if even one of those steps in the cycle didn't happen. What if water never left the earth? Even worse, what if it never came back down? We live on such an amazing planet.
I agree.
Join us, Max. It was great having you.
I really enjoyed it. Thanks.
And ladies and gentlemen, please join us next time on Melrose Magnificent Mysteries as we read another intriguing question from one of our fans. Until then, I am Mrs. Malbrough. Good night.